Hello guys, I hope you guys are having a wonderful week, that you guys are learning or working on something really exciting. This time we're gonna be learning about Bootstrap. Just in case you guys don't know, Bootstrap is a styling framework that you can use for your websites. This is gonna be just some static website. We're gonna be making a restaurant menu with Bootstrap. The first thing we're gonna do is open our Visual Studio and we're gonna start from there. Once Visual Studio is open, wherever place you guys wanna do this, you can do it. I'm gonna be creating a folder and I'm gonna call it Bootstrap demo. Inside that folder I'm gonna create two files. One is gonna be a index.html file. The other one is gonna be a style.css file, just in case we need some styling, but we're gonna try to minimize it as much as possible, and we're gonna be just using the styles that come from Bootstrap. Once you create those files, we're gonna go back to the index.html file, and we're gonna be using the embed abbreviation for that to create the HTML file, and that's with a abbreviation mark. You press enter in there and everything should be created for you real quick. We're gonna press tab one more time, and we're gonna call this restaurant menu. We're gonna save it and we're gonna go to the Bootstrap website so we can get some stuff from there. Once we are in the Bootstrap website, we're gonna be changing to the 5.1.3 version. Once you're in here, we're gonna be copying that link, so you can copy the CSS link. We're gonna minimize this for a little bit. We're gonna go back to your HTML file, and between the meta and the title, we're gonna paste that link in there. Should look something like that. Then we're gonna go back one more time to the Bootstrap website. We're gonna copy the bundle, the JavaScript bundle. We're gonna copy that. We're gonna go back to your HTML file, and inside the body, between those tags, we're gonna paste that bundle or that script for the JavaScript, and we're gonna save it. Once you have that, we're gonna go back one more time to the Bootstrap website. We're gonna go back and forth a lot, so hopefully you guys can keep up with that. We can notice on the left hand side that we have a menu right here. We're gonna go to components, and then we're gonna scroll down all the way to navbar. We're gonna press that one. Once in here, we're gonna scroll down till we see the first navbar that they have in there. So we're gonna copy that navbar and we're gonna go back to our Visual Studio. Once we are on Visual Studio, we're gonna paste that navbar all the way to the top, inside the body tags, all the way to the top. And we're gonna make a couple changes in here. We're gonna be deleting the search form right here from line 40 to line 43. So it's from form tag to form tag. We're gonna delete that. We also gonna be deleting the disable nav item. We're gonna be deleting that drop down menu. It's gonna be from li to li. Nav item drop down menu, we're gonna delete all that. We're gonna look right here on line 18 we have a navbar nav, and then after that we have a me auto, m2, mb, lg0. We're gonna be deleting that part from the unordered list. And the last thing we're gonna do is changing the color of that navbar. And we can do that by changing it to dark. We're gonna save it, and we're gonna open this file. Right click on your HTML file and open in the file browser. Once it's open, we can see that we have the navbar and it's dark color, and we just have a home and a link. Nothing does actually nothing at this moment, but we're gonna get there. Let's go back one more time to our Visual Studio, and we're gonna change the brand to be Coder Menu. We're gonna save it, and we're gonna change this to be menu, and this one right here to be about. So those are gonna be our nav items. We're gonna save it, and we're gonna go back to our actual page, and we're gonna refresh. So now we can see the Coder Menu. That's the title or the name of the website. We have menu and about. Now we're gonna go to our CSS file. In the CSS file, we're gonna add a couple things to make the navbar look a little better. So we're gonna do that navbar. We're gonna open curly brackets. We're gonna put position to be fixed. We're gonna do fix it. We're gonna do overflow hidden. We're gonna do width to be 100 pixels, 100%, sorry. We're gonna do C index to be 1, and we're gonna be creating another property. That one is gonna be called dot navbar dash nav. We're gonna open curly brackets, and we're gonna do margin left, and it's gonna be auto. And we're gonna add one more, and that one is gonna be nav a. We're gonna open curly brackets. It's gonna be text transform to uppercase. We're gonna do font size to be 14 pixels, and we're gonna do letter spacing to be 1 pixel. We're gonna save it, and we're gonna go back to our index.html file, and we also have to add that link to our CSS file in here. So let's do link. We're gonna do href, then we're gonna do, you can do that slash and then the style. We're gonna do real, and it's gonna be style sheet, and we're gonna close this tag. We're gonna save it, and let's see how it looks. And once you refresh, you should be able to see this. So the menu button and the back button are now in the right side, and the letters look a little better. Let's go one more time. Let's go back one more time to our HTML file, and let's keep adding more stuff. So a long time ago, Bootstrap used to have a Jumbotron. They don't have it anymore. So what we're gonna be doing right now is creating that Jumbotron. The first thing we're gonna do is create a section tag with a class in here. We're gonna leave it empty for now. We're gonna create another div. we're gonna create a div in here with a class also, and that one we're gonna also leave it empty for now. We're gonna create one more div also with class, leaving it empty, and inside that div we're gonna create a h1 tag. Also it's gonna have a class. We're not gonna put nothing yet in there, but we're gonna close it and we're gonna do welcome to coder menu. We're gonna also add a p tag. We're gonna add a class in there, and we're also gonna leave it empty. You guys are gonna see in a moment why we're leaving all this empty. We're gonna close our tag. We're gonna do the best restaurant for developers. We're gonna go back to the Bootstrap website and we're gonna see how we're gonna be filling up all these classes. In the Bootstrap website, we're gonna go to our menu. We're gonna close this out, and I want you guys to go to the utilities, and then in utilities we're gonna look for spacing. Once you are in spacing, we're gonna scroll down a little bit, and you can see all these properties in here. For some of you it may make sense, but for some of you guys it may be just confusing, right? So you would see right here it says that the property M is for classes to set margin. Then the property P is for classes to set padding. If we scroll down a little more, we can see we have a T in here, and that is for classes to set margin top and padding top. The same goes to the bottom with the B. That's margin bottom and padding bottom. S goes for left, margin left, padding left, and margin right or padding right. The same goes for E, margin right and padding right, and margin left and padding left. S is for classes to set both the left and the right at the same time without having to use S or E. And Y is to set classes for both top and bottom. If you leave it blank, you will be actually setting margin or padding on all of the size of that class or of that div. We also have a couple numbers down here in the bottom. They go from 1 to 5, and you can see how much space it gives. It's a 125 if you use 1, 1.5 if you use 2, 3 is for 1, 4 is for 1.5, and 5 is for 5. And automatically is to put margin automatically. So what we're learning here is that we combine them. With each one of them, we can set the margin wherever we want without having to use the CSS. So if we do M and T, that means that we're putting M margin to the top. If we do M and B, that means that we're putting margin to the bottom. If we do P and B, that means that we're putting padding to the bottom. So that's what we're going to be using in our Jumbotron. So we're gonna go back, and in the class we're gonna be putting some padding to the top. So padding to the top is P for padding and T for the top. And we're also gonna put some spacing. To be able to put the spacing, we need to do a dash and a 5 like we saw in here for a 5. After that, let's save it and let's take a look how it looks now that we have the padding. We're gonna refresh. So now that we have the padding, we can see that it doesn't look like we have any padding. But let's go back and let's delete this part, save it, and if we go back and refresh it, we can see that the welcome to coder is gone because it's actually behind the navbar. So by adding that padding to the top and 5 of the spacing, we can actually make that title go down. Okay, let's go and keep adding more padding and margin. So the next one is gonna be padding 5, and I also want to add a class in here just in case we need to add some CSS, but I don't think so. We're just gonna call it Jumbotron and padding all the way around of 5. We're gonna save it. We're gonna go back to our code. This is how it looks before we add these properties. Now that I refresh, we can see that it add some extra padding around. So let's go back one more time, and we're gonna add more properties to the next div. This one is gonna be called title, and we're gonna add padding to the all the way around of 3, and we're also gonna add another property that we're gonna be talking about it in a little bit. It's gonna be called medium 6. We're gonna save it, and we're gonna go back to our website. We can see that it add a little more padding to it, right? Let's go back one more time, and we're gonna be adding more properties. But to be able to add more properties in here, let's go back one more time to our Bootstrap website so we can understand what we're gonna be putting in here. Once in the Bootstrap website, we're gonna go again to our right side, to our little menu. We're gonna go to content, typography, and we're gonna scroll down. We can see that we have the regular H tags, H1, H2, H3, H4, etc, etc, etc. And if we keep scrolling down, we can see that we also have display headings. So if you guys take a look at the H1 tags, they get to a specific limit or specific size. But if you use the display, it can go a little bit bigger than that. So at this time, we're gonna be using that display 5 for this one. So that's gonna be the first one that we're gonna use, display 5. So let's go back and add display 5, refresh it, and go back to our code, to our website. And if we refresh, we can see that our title changed a little bit. It looks a little nicer, huh? Let's go back one more time, and after that we're gonna go to utilities, and then we're gonna go to text. And here we can see all the types of text that we have. We can do text center, text start, text center, text to the end, text to the small star, text medium star, text large star, text XL star, and we can see a couple examples in here, to the star, to the center, to the end, and this one is in the medium star, medium small, medium star, large star, and XL star. And if we keep scrolling down, we can see that text wrap. If we keep scrolling down, we can see text break. We can see text lowercase, text uppercase, they're capitalized. We can also see font sizes, and we can also see font weight. This is the one that we're gonna be using right now, font weight bold. And you can see you have examples in here of how it looks. If it's bolded, if it's normal, if it's lighter, italic, or normal. So at this moment we're gonna be using bold text. So let's go back to our code and add that bold text to it. So in here we're gonna do FW bold. We're gonna save it, and one more time let's go back to our code and see how it looks. There you go. So it looks a little better than before. Let's go one more time to the Bootstrap website. And as we saw, font size is FS, and FS1, FS2, FS3, FS4, FS5, and that's for the different sizes. We're gonna be using FS3, but that one is gonna be for the actual text that we have in the bottom of the title. So we're gonna do FS3, and we are gonna also add some padding to the top of 3. And let's go back and let's see how it looks. There you go. It looks a little better. So now I want to put a background to that Jumbotron. So we're gonna go back to our code, and in the style.css file, we're gonna be adding one more property. That the property is gonna be Jumbotron. We're gonna open parentheses, curly brackets, and we're gonna do background, and it's gonna be a URL, and inside right there we're gonna put a URL to a image. For that we're gonna go look for a simple image that we can use. For that I'm gonna be using Unsplash, and we're gonna look for restaurant. Let's look for something simple, something that is bright, so we can see it. Let's use this one. Let's copy image address, and let's go back to our Visual Studio, paste it, and we're gonna be adding a couple more things. So the background size is gonna be cover, and the height is gonna be 80 view height. Let's save it. We're also gonna change the title to have a background color of RGBA. We're gonna open parentheses, we're gonna do 0,0,0,15, and we're gonna do a border radius of 10 pixels and a color of white. We're gonna save it, and we're gonna go back to our restaurant website and see how it looks. There you go. So now it looks a little better, but I really don't like that picture, so I'm gonna pause it a little bit, and I'm gonna change the picture. You guys can use any picture that you guys want. Feel free to use Unsplash to find that picture. So I'm gonna pause it, and I'll be back once I find a better picture. Okay, I'm back. This is a little better picture. This is how it should look, with the title and some text in the bottom. So let's go back to the Bootstrap website, and in the Bootstrap website, we're gonna go to layout, and we're gonna go to grid, and we're gonna learn a little bit about grid. Bootstrap grid is a way to make your website responsive, so that it can be visible correctly in your phone or in your tablet or in your computer, like we're doing it right now. The grid has 12 columns, so each one of them you can put a specific amount of spaces, and you can put them together in little rectangles. You can use a 12 of 12 column, and that will use one single rectangle. You can use 6 out of 12, and that will make 2 rectangles. You can do 4 out of 12, and that will make 3 rectangles. Always you have to count that you are filling 12 of them. You cannot go over 12, but you can go less than 12, but it may look a little strange. So it's always recommended to use 12 to create your boxes out of 12 columns. You can see the little example in here. The first column is using all the spaces. The second has 2 columns, and each one of them is using 6 spaces. The third one, each one of them is using 4 spaces. So 4 plus 4 plus 4 is 12. And then you can keep going with the rest till you get to 1. Now that we are a little comfortable with our grid, we are gonna be copying the first example that we have in here. If you take a look, we have a container, and inside that container we have rows, and inside the rows we have columns. So that's the same way you're gonna have to put it. You have to put rows inside a container and columns inside rows. So now that we already copied that, let's go back to our Visual Studio. We're gonna separate or stop with a little section tag. We're gonna put a class of it, and we're gonna put p padding of 5, so we want padding all the way around to it. And we're gonna close our tag. Inside of section, we're gonna paste what we copy from the Bootstrap website, and inside the container, between the container and the row, we're gonna create h1 tag, and we're gonna put a class of text center, and we're gonna put padding to the bottom of 3, and we're gonna close our tag. We're gonna do our menu, and we're gonna save it. Let's go back to our restaurant. Let's refresh, and we can see our menu and the little 3 columns that we create. Now that we already have that, we're gonna go back one more time to our Bootstrap website, and in the little menu we're gonna go to components and then cart. We're gonna be copying the first card that we have in here. So let's copy that, and let's go back to our code. Now that we are back in our code, I want to add some breakpoints to our columns, so I'm gonna be adding 4 in there. So 4 plus 4 plus 4, that equals 12. And instead of having that column text in there, we're gonna be deleting it, and we're gonna paste the card that we just copy from Bootstrap. We're gonna paste it, save it, and we're gonna be deleting a couple things from here. The first one is gonna be the style on every single one of them. So let's delete the style. And we're gonna delete the buttons on all of them. Once we delete them, we save it, and let's take a look how it looks now. Let's refresh. Now we can see that we have those little cards. They don't have pictures yet. So what we're gonna be doing is going back to Unsplash and look for a couple pictures. So let's do that. So now in here we have a picture of a lobster. Let's copy image address. Let's go back to our code, and we can see that the card has a image tag and a src or source code. So we're gonna delete those dots, and we're gonna paste it in there. We're gonna save it, and if we go back to our code, we can see that we already have a little image in our car. So now that you guys know how to add those pictures, I'm gonna give it a pause. I'm gonna be looking for the rest of the pictures. You guys can use whatever pictures you want to use in there, and I see you guys in a little bit after the pause. Okay, I'm back, and I have a couple pictures. So let's add some titles to those dishes. So let's go back, and the first one is lobster, the next one is pasta, and the last one is burger. Let's save it, and now our website looks a little better. We are getting there. We are creating that little menu. I'm gonna go back to the style, the CSS, and at the end of the background we're gonna add fix it to make it look a little better. So let's refresh. There you go, it looks a little better than before. So now let's keep working on it. Let's go back to our Visual Studio. Now in our HTML I'm gonna create another section in the bottom, and that one is also gonna have a class. It's gonna have padding to the bottom of 5, and we're gonna be closing the tag. We're also gonna be putting a div in here with a class of container. So we're gonna create our own container without copying it from Bootstrap. After that, we're gonna do a h1 tag with a class, and we're gonna put some padding to the top and bottom of 3, and we're gonna do some text center, and in there we're gonna add the text of about us. After that, we're gonna create another div, and also that one is also gonna have a class, and that one is gonna be a row. After we finish setting up that row, we're gonna create 2 columns. Let's set a div with a class, and the class is gonna be column, and since I want one bigger than the other one, I'm gonna put 7 spaces into this one, and I'm gonna create the other one. So that one is gonna be div with a class and a column with 5, and I'm gonna close the column. So 7 plus 5, that makes it 12. Now inside this div I'm gonna create one more div, and in here I wanna also add a class, and this one is gonna have a margin bottom of 3 and padding top of 5 and padding X of 5. I'm gonna put a label in here, and here I wanna create like a little message, send a message area. So this one is gonna have form label, and inside we're gonna want to have the name with the input tag in the bottom, and type of name. We're also gonna have a class of form control. We also want a placeholder of 000 000 000 000. After that one, make sure you close it. We want another div. We can even copy and paste the one in top. Copy, paste it. And the only thing I'm gonna change is I'm gonna take the padding to the top, and I'm gonna put font. Oh, I just noticed this should be like a name. It's Cameron. That's the font. And after that, we're gonna do one more div, and we have to put a class on it, and that one is gonna be margin bottom of 3 and padding X of 5, and we're gonna do a label with a class, and the one is also gonna be a form label. We're gonna do message in here, and the last one is gonna be a text area. We're gonna put a class of form control. We're gonna give it 3 rows, and we're gonna close that tag. After that, we're gonna be moving to the next one. This one is gonna be more of about us area. So let's save it and see how it looks now. If I refresh, we can see that area right there. Let's go back one more time to our code. Okay, the last part is gonna be the about us area. So we're gonna create a little div in here with a class also. We're gonna put margin to the bottom of 3, padding to the top of 5, and padding X of 5. And we're gonna close the div, and we're gonna create a p tag, and in there we're gonna do address, and we're gonna add a span tag with a class of text secondary, so we can change the color a little bit of the text. Let's go back up here, and we do 1, 2, 3 street avenue, and we're gonna copy that part again, and we're gonna reuse it. We're gonna use it 3 more times. What I want to take out is the PT, padding to the top. We don't need no more padding in the top. And we're gonna change, instead of addressing here, we're gonna put city, and the city is gonna be a new city, NC. And then the next one is gonna be font, capital P, and we're gonna change the font in here. It's gonna be 000 000 000 000. And the last thing is, just in case they have Facebook or something like that, Facebook with a little H tag in here. And we wanna make sure we do a target to be blank, so that we can open in another tab, and we're gonna do all Facebook page. Let's save it one more time, and let's go back and take a look how it looks now. So we can see that we have the address, the city, the font, and if you can see the text is kind of in another color. If you guys want to take a look at that, you guys can go to utilities, colors, and you should be able to see the text secondary property in here that you can add to the class. And just to make it a little different, let's change the area right there. So in the section, I'm gonna put about, and we're gonna go back to the CSS. We're gonna add one more property in here. That's gonna be that about. We're gonna open color brackets, and we're gonna do background color, and we're gonna do white smoke, and that way we can see a little bit of the difference between the sections. You know, that we have the nav bar, and then we have our jumbotron, and then we have our little menu, and or about us. You can get as big as you want. You can create more stuff. On this example, I actually went a little bit ahead and add a little bit more cars in the bottom. So from the row all the way to the end of the row where the div is at, I just copy all that stuff and put a little bit of padding to the top to that row, and you know, you have a little extra more cars in the menu. I think that's it. This is just a static website, but that gives you an idea of how Bootstrap works and how you can create a little menu or restaurant menu for with Bootstrap. I hope you guys like it. I hope you guys learn a little bit. If you have any questions or you want to share what you have created with us, you know, just push it to GitHub and share the link with us. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to my channel so you can keep receiving these tutorials and keep learning with me. Thank you and see you in the next one.